affection with me. But I have lain under as many of my kind as I please, and this wretched genie wotteth not. Let death's tiny may not be averted nor hindered by aught, and that whatso woman willeth, the same she fulfilleth, however man nilleth. Even so saith one of them, rely not on women, trust not to their hearts, whose joys and whose sorrows are hung to their parts. Lying glove they will swear thee, whence guile ne'er departs. Take use of for sample, where slights and where smarts. Iblis ousted Adam, see ye not, through their arts. And another saith, stint thy blame, man, 'twill drive to a passion without bound. My fault is not so heavy as fault in it hast found. If true lover I become, then to me there cometh naught, save what happened unto many in the bygone stound. For wonderful is he, and right worthy of our praise, who from wiles of female wits kept him safe and kept him sound. Hearing these words they marvelled with exceeding marvel, and she went from them to the Ifrit, and taking up his head on her thighs before, said to them softly, now wend your ways, and bear yourselves beyond the bounds of his malice. So they fared forth, saying either to other, Allah, Allah, and there be no majesty, and there be no might, save in Allah, the glorious, the great, and with him we seek refuge from women's malice and slight. For of a truth it hath no mate and might. Consider, O my brother, the waves of this marvelous lady with an Ifrit, who is so much more powerful than we are. Now since there hath happened to him a greater mishap than that which befell us, and which should bear us abundant consolation, so return we to our countries and capitals, and let us decide never to intermarry with womankind, and presently we will show them what will be our action. Thereupon they rode back to the tents of King Shahryar, which they reached on the morning of the third day. And having mustered the wazirs and emirs and chamberlains and high officials, he gave a robe of honor to his viceroy and issued orders for an immediate return to the city. There he sat upon his throne, and sending for the chief minister, the father of the two damsels who will presently be mentioned, he said, I command thee to take my wife and smite her to death, for she hath broken her plight and her faith. So he carried her to the place of execution, and did her die. Then King Shahryar took brand in hand, and repairing to the seraglio, slew all the concubines and their mamelukes. He also sware himself by a binding oath that whatever wife he married, he would abate her maidenhead at night, and slay her next morning to make sure of his honor. For, said he, there never was, nor is there one just woman upon the face of the earth. Then Shah Zaman prayed for permission to fare homewards, and he went forth equipped and escorted, and traveled till he reached his own country. Meanwhile, Shahryar commanded his wazir to bring him the bride of the night, that he might go in to her. So he produced a most beautiful girl, the daughter of one of the emirs, and the king went in unto her at eventide. And when morning dawned, he bade his minister strike off her head, and the wazir did accordingly for fear of the sultan. On the wise he continued for the space of 3 years, marrying a maiden every night. On this wise he continued for the space of 3 years, marrying a maiden every night, and killing her the next morning, till folk raised an outcry against him and cursed him, praying Allah utterly destroy him and his rule. And women made an uproar, and mothers wept, and parents fled with their daughters, till there remained not in the city a young person fit for carnal copulation. Presently the king ordered his chief wazir, the same who was charged with the executions, to bring him a virgin, as was his wont. And the minister went forth and searched and found none. So he returned home in sorrow, anxiety, fearing for his life from the king. Now he had 2 daughters, Shahrazad and Dunyazadite, of whom the elder had perused the books, annals, and legends of preceding kings, and the stories, examples, and instances of bygone men and things. Indeed, it was said that she had collected 1,000 books of histories relating to antique races and departed rulers. She had perused the works of the poets, and knew them by heart. She had studied philosophy and the sciences, arts and accomplishments, and she was pleasant and polite, wise and witty, well-read and well-bred. Now on that day she said to her father, "Why do I see thee thus changed and laden with cark and care? Concerning this matter, quoth one of the poets, tell whoso hath sorrow, grief never shall last. Even as joy hath no morrow, so woe shall go past." When the wazir heard from his daughter these words, he related to her from first to last all that had happened between him and the king. Thereupon said she, "By Allah, O my father, how long shall this slaughter of women endure? Shall I tell thee what is in my mind in order to save both sides from destruction?" "Say on, O my daughter," quoth he, and quoth she, "I wish thou wouldest give me in marriage to this king Shahryar. Either I shall live, or I shall be a ransom for the virgin daughters of Moslems in the cause of their deliverance from his hands and thine. Allah upon thee, cried he in wrath, exceeding that lacked no feeding. O scanty of wit, expose not thy life to such peril. How durst thou address me in words so wide from wisdom and unfar from foolishness? Know that one who lacketh experience in worldly matters readily falleth into misfortune, and whoso considereth not thee and keepeth not the world to friend. And the vulgar say, I was lying at mine ease, naught but my officiousness brought me unease. Needs must thou, she broke in, make me a doer of this good deed, and let him kill me, and he will. I shall only die ransom for others. O my daughter, asked he, and how shall that profit thee when thou shalt have thrown away thy life? And she answered, O my father, it must be, come of it what will. The wazir was again moved to fury, and blamed and reproached her, ending with, in every deed, I fear lest the same befall thee which befell the bull and the donkey with the husbandman.